Hey, on this episode of SAMP&CHANCE Wrestling, we are going to go back to Scotland, clash at the castle. Also, this Monday, howdy to Uncle Howdy. They're here. They finally arrived. The Wyatt Sick. We're going to talk about those guys as well. What happened on Raw, AEW, all the wrestling you can think of. SAMP&CHANCE, here we go. Hey, everybody, SAMP&CHANCE here. We are back at Mr. Michaels. How are you, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Can't complain, man. It's Tuesday. It's a beautiful day. I love what we get to do, bro. I'm just gonna say it straight up. I mean, shit. We have regular jobs and everything, but I tell you what, this is so awesome that we get to do this.
Yeah, it's cool because we get to talk to some people that we never would have talked to. I watch more wrestling than I normally would if it wasn't for the show. So it's good. It keeps you up to date in the wrestling and boxing and in the history. I do the history part in boxing, with the history in wrestling, but I love it. It's fun. Enjoy it.
No, I love it. I love every aspect of it. I love the top fives. I love all the new people that we've been able to meet. I love the
Mm.
traveling that we've been able to do. Most importantly, though, brother man, and I'm going to catch you a little off guard here. I think the best thing for me is the relationship I've been able to build with you.
Yeah, well,
You know,
we make a good team. We've done a lot of good work.
two dudes who met up at the Manny Pacquiao fight. I remember still you wore a Macho Man shirt, and I knew right there and then this guy's going to be a buddy. And there was a little gap there, but I'm only talking about it because it's just kind of one of those moods I'm in.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
appreciative.
I'm glad you brought the Manny Pacquiao fight up because 2015 Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather. Everybody watched that fight, and you haven't had a fight like that since. Where everybody, mom, dad, uncle, whoever was talking about it, watching it. Now the fight didn't live up to the hype, but the hype was there and it got everybody together. We haven't had a big, huge fight like that since. Like on that mag, it's the biggest pay per view ever. Still,
Well, dude,
so
that's the fight that brought us together that
yeah,
we had at, right? Like I would never have known who you were if that wasn't for that fight.
exactly.
If that fight didn't happen, and if that fella, our common friend there didn't introduce us, this would never have been happening. So I mean,
Yeah.
everything kind of falls into place. But hey, let's go to Scotland, man. Enough of that mushy gushy stuff. Let's get into the fighting. Clash at the Castle, I thought it was a good show. I thought I had no problem with it in any way. I thought it was a good serving. I thought they did well. I think they're right on the money with the amount of matches that they have and how they're doing it.
Not
And
according to Sami Zayn. He's already ripping. He's got the little
no,
heat with Triple H. He's saying
yeah, yeah, yeah,
five
yeah.
matches ain't enough. I disagree. Most things Triple H do, I don't agree with them on. This one I do agree. I think 5, 6 matches is, you don't need 10 matches. It's too
No,
much.
no, and we'll get into that a little bit, but let's just break down the card first
Yep.
initially, right? In no particular order, I wanted to start with the women's tag team match here because I think there's some really interesting stuff that we got to look at here. Not so much the outcome of the match, that's fine. One of those Scottish, athletes had to win, right? It
Yeah.
was a
You had
question
to.
of which of the three were going to win, right? And they did it right away. So we kind of knew right off the bat that, okay, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, the new women's tag team champions. Congratulations to them. It's not a WrestleMania moment, but I don't think you can get any closer to that being at home in front of your home fans and everything. And just on another note there, Alba Fire, her mother died a couple of weeks before this. She was hit by a car. So, just
No, it's too bad.
yeah. So there's a lot of emotion involved there. Winning the tag team titles at home. My only issue I had with them winning is we haven't seen enough of them on regular TV to know who they truly are to get that
Well,
title.
and the biggest thing I don't like about this, why are you taking the belts off of Carter Gill and Bianca? They're the hottest thing in the women's division. They look good. They have a good character. They're so over, and to take them away so soon. If you want to give a belt to somebody in Scotland or give them one, give it to somebody else. I think this is a bad call.
But here's the other piece now. So we've been talking about Jade Cargill a lot, right? And I'm not going to shit on her for her flub or anything, but this is a prime example of what AEW needs to do with their up and coming talent that is green like this, opposed to throwing them into the fire and learning on the job and making mistakes and making bad habits. WWE has done right by her by keeping her in the dark, training her. The reason I bring this up is when she flubbed and tripped over the top rope and came down.
Mhm.
From that point on, if you go back and watch, my friend, she didn't look the same. She looked discombobulated. She didn't know what
Yeah,
to
I know that hurt her.
lost.
She got shook.
Right, exactly. Like at the and if you look at the closing sequence of that match, what I noticed the most was is when she had her, she did, almost felt like she didn't move fast enough to pin her. You know, like she was
Yeah,
like she looked really, really lost at that very moment, like, oh shit, what happened? And I think that's why they ended the match the way they did so quickly. She just looked really lost after that moment. Did you see that?
yeah, I seen that. I think she was hurt. I think she got hurt from that flub. Something might have, she might have twisted her foot, landed the wrong way. Well, and then Damian Priest flubbed at the end too. So I mean, that guy he looks good, but he's not a great in-ring worker. He's a championship match. He needed a major flub in the ropes there. We'll get to that later, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they should have kept the belts on Cardigal and Bianca. They had something going with them. I don't think it needed to be done, but yeah, big flub by Cardigal. She's just never going to be a great worker. She's 32. Like I keep saying, if you can't talk on the stick, if you can't work by your early to mid 30s, you're never going to be able to turn it around. She's got a good look, and just got to try to work around her capabilities.
Yeah. No, definitely, definitely. I mean, overall, a good match. I thought it was no
Yeah,
problem with it at all. I
but
thought everything was fun, and but just at the end there, you just saw that
big upset of the night because nobody thought they would lose the belts there. So I'm glad they did something to surprise
well,
us.
that would have had to been the surprise of the night, then, right? I
Yeah,
mean, all right. So let's move on. Sami Zayn, Chad Gable, Intercontinental Title match. We both thought that Chad was going to take this one,
yep.
but he didn't. They keep the strap on Sammy, which kind of leads up to the new story that they're doing with Braun Breaker. We'll talk about that a little bit later here. Overall, I thought these guys worked really, really well. I thought the match was good. They're moving the story along. I mean, I almost feel that the whole Chad Gable thing is only just to elevate his story with Otis and the rest of the Alpha Academy. Once again, they failed him, and he's just on that thing where he's blaming everybody. So that look on his eyes at the end of that match, man, kind of tells it all. But it all kind of came to an end on Raw on Monday night, where the other three just kind of left him in the dark. So I think now we're going to see those Creed brothers join up with him. Think?
Maybe the match wasn't bad. Like it was good. It wasn't anything. It wasn't like amazing. It might have been the best match in the card. There wasn't that many great. Well, no, sorry, second best match in the card. Sami Zayn. Who would have ever guessed? He's kind of throwing a little bit of shots at Triple H. 5 or 6 matches isn't enough on the pay per view card. He thinks that he's better as a chaser. He's kind of hinting at it. So there's a little bit of tension building there. He misses the old Mini Man because Mini Man knows the game, right? And hey, like I said, you can't keep everybody happy, but I thought Chad should have had it. Sammy's such a goofball looking character and guy. He's better when he's running around. He's a goofball. Look at the guy. You can't take him seriously.
Yeah.
But they're trying to make him serious, which I don't think is working for him.
Well, I think now that we know that Braun Breaker is next in line for him, this is where he's going to probably lose the strap, right? And I
Yeah.
think better benefited for Breaker to have it anyways. It'll do for him what it did for Gunther. Speaking of which, he wasn't even on Raw last night again.
I know.
Like he's kind of, I don't know what they're doing with him, but I guess he does have that title fight at SummerSlam already in the book. So
He could be banged up a little bit and let him have a rest.
yeah, no, 100%. So you got that. You know what I love to see? I can't wait to see Gunther versus Braun at some point.
Yeah, that might not be bad.
That'd be a good fight. That'd be a good fight. Taker endorses Gunther, loves him. He says he's his guy. That's coming from the dead man.
Yeah, no, Gunther's a great worker. The thing is, yeah, we'll see what he can do. Yeah, he's got all the tools.
Taker is so high on him. Like he's like
well, it's also Taker's trying to get him over too. Taker's still part of it. He's trying to get this guy over too, right? But I get it.
100%, 100%. But I think the reason being is it's not so much the in ring or the wrestling. It's the fact that he took about 10 to 20 minutes to sit with his son and just have a conversation. And you just love that. So
yeah,
there we go. All right. Let's just talk about it, man. Cody Rhodes, I Quit match. That opened up the show. I mean, I thought that was an interesting opener considering how much was going to come out of that in terms of just plunder and just all the things.
It's weird way to book, but this is the indie style of booking they're doing now. I keep saying this. You open up the show what should be the main event for the world title, right? So this is the opener. This is how the indie guys like it, right? And they're catering to the indie. If anybody doesn't know, watch Raw, can't tell me they're not catering to IWC. That was a good match. It was the best match of the night by far. I thought it was pretty good, but yeah, it was good. The match was pointless, but it was a good match. You know what I mean? It didn't mean anything. We knew AJ was going to lose. It
Well,
showed a little bit of a tougher side to Cody a little bit.
yeah.
Not that wimpy, crying in the ring all the time guy, you know.
It kind of, I think it was more of a setup for the next feud, which is now Solo Sikoa, right?
Mm.
And that was kind of cool at the end, how Solo kind of came out beside him and just kind of stood beside him,
But the
clapping.
only thing is, they made a big mistake on Friday. They weakened the bloodline. They're supposed to be this tough, scary crew that can beat anybody down. And one man, Randy Orton, beat them all down. To me, that weakens them. That doesn't make them look invincible. Doesn't make them look tough. If one guy can beat up, 3 or 4 of them in the ring like that, I thought that was very, very AEW corny.
Fair play, man. What else happened here that I thought was kind of interesting? No, I mean overall they're showing color. Both guys were showing color,
Mm-hmm.
so we're slowly getting back to color, man. That
A
was
little bit.
exciting. I actually liked it. I liked it. I don't know about you, but when he got cut open, I'm like, okay, this,
Color's good if you see it a little bit. If you see it all the time, like John Moxley leads every match, and
yeah,
it's not fun. But if you see it how they do it like that, then it's good. Yeah, I
But
agree.
that's what I'm saying. That's what made it enjoyable. It's like, oh my god, oh this color, like this is awesome, right? Like, I mean, if
Yeah.
it's weak, yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on to the women's title match. Now, I thought this is the one that they were going to flip it. This is where the surprise was going to happen, but it didn't happen. Bailey retains, man. I mean, it was a decent match. I thought it was okay for what
It's
it
okay.
was. My favorite part was when Chelsea Green came back wearing the luchador mask. She's funny, man.
Yeah, she's a good entertainer. She's good at what she does.
Right? So let's see where they go with that. I mean, we won't know what's going on until we see SmackDown this Friday. We can only go off of Raw here. All right. So also we had and this is why I think this was the main event because Drew is from Scotland,
No, I
right?
know, but to open up with the heavyweight title matches, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Um,
I can't think of anything off the hand. Maybe it's happened, but it doesn't happen often. If it has
no.
happened.
It has happened before. I think we've seen it before, like at WrestleMania, where Sheamus and Daniel Bryan they were the opening match at Mania that one year.
But that wasn't that to be so that he could fight Triple H later. Was that one or is that different WrestleMania?
That was just Sheamus. That's when Daniel Bryan was with Punk's wife. What's her name?
Oh, AJ.
AJ, yeah. So he was
Yeah,
with
it
AJ.
does happen, I guess, once in a while.
So it's happened once in a while. It all depends, right? Sometimes, like I said, it happened a lot more when Roman was champion. You would see that more that Seth would open up the card when he was champion. I think once before as well. But normally when Roman was champion, he was always going to be the main event, right? So,
Yeah.
night 2 of WrestleMania.
I
Uh,
don't like it because to me it's like the heavyweight title is the best two guys, the best match. You wait for that match at the end of the night and they give it to you right away. I don't
yeah.
like that. Yeah, I
No,
think
no.
it's I don't like it.
Night 2 of WrestleMania. It was Seth versus Drew that opened up the show.
Yep, you're right. Yeah, I just don't like it because that's supposed to be the main event. I guess cut to me, it lessens the heavyweight belt. If you get this first match is supposed to be like a Chad Gable and a Sami
Yeah,
Zayn or something.
WWE belt.
What's that?
Universal. You mean the Universal belt? The heavyweight title is the one that Damien has.
No, I know, but what's the Universal belt means? That's what like a second heavyweight title almost, isn't it?
Well, no. Flip it around. It's actually the one that Roman had is the main
No,
belt.
I know, but that's what I mean. Like nobody knows what these belts are anymore. There's two of them.
Yeah. All right, so that's that. Let's move on. Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest. Yes, he flubbed. He missed
Big
that.
time club.
Almost got really injured too. They weren't sure if he was okay or not, but he's fine. Basically, it was a good match, right? Two big guys going at it, this and that. I think Drew carried most of that match. You're right. It shows flaws in Damien's game.
Damien's never going to get any better in the ring. He's 41 years old. He's only going to go downhill. His character is all right. He's got a good look. He's just not a good heavyweight champion. It's just the reality of it. So what's the two things we talk about this match? He flubbed and CM Punk came out. We don't talk anything that he did, right? Because he's overshadowed by that.
Yeah. No, 100%. So Punk is making his claim here, and we're building up to something here. I think we're going to see this fight at SummerSlam. That being said, last night on Raw, the return of Seth Rollins. I did not see this coming.
Well, hold on. First of all, let's back up that match. I totally predicted exactly what's going to happen in that match, and I was hoping I was wrong. We all know Punk would come. Screw Drew. Damien keeps the belt. Like, this is what I'm saying. They need better writers down there. They need to have better stories. Like, they just need better writers. Yeah. Wrestling guys cannot write a good show. They might be able to book who can win and put Sammy versus whoever.
Yeah.
Writers that aren't wrestlers are the best writers, and all the best shows we've seen are from guys that aren't wrestlers.
Yeah. No. Yeah,
And so if you think in Triple H and Shawn Michaels can write a good show, well, we watch it. They can't. They may be able to book. They may have great ideas. They need a writer to write the show. This is entertainment. This is all scripted. And if you don't have a good writer in there, we see stuff like this.
yeah, no, I agree with you, brother, man. I agree
And
with
one
you.
more thing before we get into Seth thing, that Drew quitting last night with Adam. So Triple H wants to talk to him, and then Adam Pearce overpowers. It's just so bad. It's such bad writing. This is the guy who's the booker, and then Adam Pearce is a make believe GM, and he's got more power than the guy who's supposed to be charged. It just bad optics.
But we'll get into it. We'll get into it here really quickly.
Yeah.
Here, but yeah, we both predicted Punk. You predicted that it would cost.
Yeah.
It would cost Drew. I thought it would cost Damian.
No,
that's the way I
because the mindset now of these guys backstage is we are appeasing the IWC. What does IWC want to see? Guys like Damian Priest. They want to see all this kind of stuff. So I knew for sure Damian wins CM Punk's. It's too obvious because they don't have great writers.
I just want to bring that back a little bit here. It's something you said interestingly a couple of weeks ago, or when he won the title. Everyone's calling him the gay Undertaker. Like, if that's the internet wrestling community shitting on him, why would they want him to be champion then?
Some of the guys were saying that, but the majority of them, they love Damian because they love the Judgment Day, which I think is the weakest faction I've ever seen in my entire life.
Well, I'm gonna do some.
But they're trying to. It's a way to appease them. Like you said, we're going to see Drew and CM Punk. But the thing is, you're investing so much in CM Punk. The guy can't wrestle anymore. His body is done. He's broken down. He might have a couple more matches in him, and it's time to get rid of him because he can't wrestle anymore. Put him on commentating.
Let's see what they do. Let's see how he comes back, what he looks like, what kind of match they have here. But what I found really interesting last night, two things. I mean, I kind of knew that the Wyatt Sick would make their debut last night, but I didn't know anything about Seth Rollins coming back. Did you?
No idea. And the one thing, that version of Seth I didn't mind. It's not quite the burn it down Seth, but it's not quite the feminine Seth either, where he's crying, he's dressing like a girl. Let's be honest. He's kind of like, it was flamboyant, but it was like he's kind of in between here. I hope he doesn't go back to the last Seth we just seen, where he's crying, looking like a goofball. This Seth was good. It looked a lot better than I've seen him in the past. He looked focused. He looked energetic. He looked healthy. He needed that break.
He didn't realize he'd been gone for almost 3 months, right? And
he did it.
And that was the most easiest outfit that I think he's ever worn.
Yeah. And it's kind of like he's not quite going back that old Seth we just seen, but he's not the burn it down Seth. It's kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
Fine. So and I thought he did a good job.
I want to ask you this. So we know now that at Money at the Bank, you're going to get Damian Priest against Seth Rollins here for the world title. Do you see, like, okay, when I saw that happen, here's my thinking right away, okay? SummerSlam's coming up. Do you want Damian versus Gunther, or would you rather see Seth versus Gunther at SummerSlam?
Anybody versus Gunther but Damian. Damian has a good look and he's got that, but he just can't deliver a good match.
It's almost like I feel they're going to call an audible on this, the way they did against what's his name, the Maharaja. When he was world champion, they took the belt off of him so that Daniel Bryan could fight Brock at Survivor Series. They didn't want him. They didn't want him to Jinder Mahal to have the belt going in against Brock. That's why they took it off of him. Do you kind of see that kind of happening here too? And also, second point I want to bring up to you, Drew quitting that last night reminded me a lot of Batista quitting. I almost feel like the last 3 weeks we're seeing a lot of storylines kind of coming back again. Very similar to AJ quitting the way Mark Henry quit or retired.
Well, because they're running out of ideas. They need some writers.
So
Ari Emanuel, please hire some outside writers, hire some Hollywood guys, hire whoever you think is you got the connections in Hollywood, Ari Emanuel. You're the Rock's agent, manager, whatever you want to call yourself. So you know all the guys in Hollywood. Rock, you know all these guys in Hollywood. Bring in some writers. Let's get some good stories here. Let's get some better writing, and they can book whatever from there. Like the bookers can book, but they need some better writing.
No, 100%. I think better writing is needed across the board on every promotion in the world, man. But I mean, it's kind of like wrestling to me. It's kind of like playing the guitar. How many more different riffs can you get off of it before you have?
I know. There's only so much that you can do,
right? So, but I mean, I'm happy with everything that I'm seeing right now. AEW though.
Not me. No, I think this Raw wasn't bad, but there's so many things they're doing wrong. Speaking of this Uncle Howdy stuff, right? Like, how are you going to have these guys have a matches? So you're trying to do the entertainment stuff, and I get it, to try to, because they lost 2 million fans since Rock's left. So trying to get some people back with some more entertainment focused stuff, and it's a good idea. But how are you ever going to have Uncle Howdy, whoever he is, with these guys with them wrestle when it's so theatrical, it's so over the top? You're going to have to do these vignettes out of the arena, like the Undertaker AJ match, do stuff like that, because this will fall flat on its face as soon as Uncle Howdy has a match and we reveal who he is or who his crew is. This has to be done very carefully with good writing, or it's going to die.
Bo Dallas is Uncle Howdy.
Okay.
Bray Wyatt's brother. Okay.
Yep.
Nikki Cross is Sister Abigail. The rabbit guy is Eric Rowan, original Wyatt family member. Dexter Loomis is the buzzard, the guy, who was with the Miz for a bit there.
Yeah.
And number 5, he's from NXT, Joe Gacy. Yeah,
but so how are they going to put these guys into an actual match? Because they were so theatrical what happened last night backstage. So if they keep these vignettes maybe out of the arena, out of the ring, and make it more special, as soon as these Bo Dallas, you're going to watch Bo Dallas and Dexter Loomis are going to put on some good matches. As soon as they get in the ring and do that, this thing fades. Well, it's got a lot of hype right now. It could be special, but they got to be very careful.
Let's see what they do. Again, I hear what you're saying.
No, I'm telling you, I'm calling this right now. If they keep doing this stuff in the arena, the novelty will wear off in 3 to 4 weeks. And as soon as we see Eric Rowan, Bo Dallas, Dexter Loomis, if it is these guys, it's another Judgment Day. If they keep this special and secretive and do stuff, out of the arena, do some crazy stuff, then it's going to be cool. Keep it more theatrical, more entertainment based.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, the IWC guys, they just want wrestling. They just want 20-minute matches. Sami Zayn, Chad Gable guys, go, go, go. I'm glad they're trying this. It's got to be done properly. They got something special. Possibly, if they don't write it properly, it's going to fall flat on its face, and we're going to have another Judgment Day kind of nerdy stuff. So we'll see. I hope they pull it off. They got to be careful.
I hope they do too. I'm really excited for it. I've been waiting for it, and it's kind of like, this is kind of what Bray was going to come back with.
But the thing is, Bray Wyatt is a unique talent. This is like replacing Mick Jagger with a bar band, right? So Bo Dallas, Dexter Loomis, and Eric Rowan.
No.
The fans don't care about those guys. So that's what I'm saying. They have to make this very, very.
I'm sure they will. And I'm sure they will. I believe.
From what I hope
so. I hope so.
That's what I'm saying. So what you're hoping so, but what I'm saying is, I don't think they can, because the writing that I've been seeing, this is hot now. The way they write Judgment Day and stuff, and just how that's so cheesy. This has the potential to be the hottest thing going, or it can.
Well, we'll see. We're only 1 week in. Let's see what they do with it.
My prediction: 3-4 weeks. This is going to fall flat. We'll see Bo Dallas, we'll see Eric Rowan or Dexter Loomis, and those guys, I don't care.
Well, again,
keep the mystique, keep it mysterious, keep it dark, keep it special.
I hope they do, and I hope they kind of learn from the flubs that they made with the Judgment Day, with Retribution and whatnot. I mean, they've tried.
No. These guys are ego. These guys are egomaniacs, dude.
Right, but what I'm saying is about Bray Wyatt. Okay, this is what he had planned going forward if he didn't get sick.
But Bray's not here though.
He's not here. I get it, but let's see what they can do with it.
No, I get it, and it's a good idea. That's what I'm saying. It's a good idea, but you have the guys execute it. If you take out Keith Richards, you take out Mick Jagger, and you get 2 guys from a local bar, call it the Rolling Stones. Well, it's dead in the water. So this is what I'm saying. Sure. They got to be very, very careful with it. Bray was a unique talent. His vision is good. Can they execute it? I don't think so, but let's see. I hope I'm wrong.
Well, I hope you're wrong too, brother man, because I'm kind of been looking forward to this for a year. I've been waiting to see what they're going to do with him and whatnot, and the excitement kind of rose a bit more after the documentary came out at WrestleMania weekend as well. So kind of, let's see what they do. Do. All right, brother man, why don't we wrap it up here? Call it a day. AEW was pretty quiet for the most part. Nothing really stood out for me. Yourself?
That wasn't a bad show. I mean, like I said, I see so much similarities between the two organizations that you never would see before. That's just it's such indie eyes booking now. It wasn't bad. Like they're trying. I mean, what match stood? I mean, Jack Perry's beating Dustin Rhodes. I mean, lots of bleeding all the time. Rhodes is bleeding. Like, I don't know, Rhodes, his character's kind of run his course now. He's mid-50s. The only reason I think he's still wrestling is because his brother's hot right now. So they kind of think that's kind of like, oh, here's Cody's brother, right? But like, I don't know. It was an all right Dynamite, nothing special. I mean, they're trying, but
They're
Yeah,
trying, man. I have no issues with it.
they got Hook has got
You know
that
what?
new
I'll be
faction
honest.
with
I'll be
with
honest. I think
Samoa Joe.
watching it more now, I'm getting into it a bit now because now you can see some of the stories that they're doing. But I'll be honest, man. Like I'm about a month deep into AEW, like consistently now.
Mhm.
And what I've noticed still to this day, it's like, okay, a lot of these things are just still being thrown together. A lot of these things don't really have any kind of continuity or make any sense, and you figured,
They
okay,
make sense. They make sense to me only because you have to understand Tony Khan's mindset. So if you're thinking how this guy thinks, he's just a geeky guy. He's booking for the IWC. He wants 20-minute matches, not much entertainment. He would never do something like Uncle Howdy stuff. So he just wants matches, 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 appeasing the marks, he's appeasing the IWC. So if you think of it from the way he's thinking of it, it makes sense. If you think of it from a normal wrestling casual fan standpoint, it's garbage.
yeah,
So it
fair.
depends how you look at it. Now, when I watch these shows, I've changed the mindset. Okay, I'm thinking these WWE is not quite as hardcore for the indie guys, but they're kind of on that, trying to be cool, trying to keep those guys happy. Tony Khan's admitted it. That's all I want to do. It's all I care about. So I'm remembering that when I'm watching these shows. I'm trying not to overanalyze it.
No,
It's
no,
a
no,
bunch
no.
of egomaniacs, huge marks running the show, bringing the outside people that aren't wrestlers to write a good storyline. Let the bookers book the wrestling and figure out the match. But we need some sort of entertainment instead of 20-minute matches nonstop. It gets boring after a while.
I get it, brother, man. But you know what? We're in the business of watching it. What I mean is, it's
I know
like,
that's my critique of it, and
yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm trying to watch with the indie mindset for
yeah.
Raw and for and I'll tell you right now, if I owned a wrestling company, which I don't anymore, but if I was Ari Emanuel or Khan's dad, Triple H out, Shawn Michaels, one of my all-time heroes, out, Tony Khan out. We're bringing in some non-wrestling guys. We're going to write a script. We're going to get back to entertainment-based stuff. We're going to try to get that casual fan back.
How do you figure a non-wrestling guy or girl who knows nothing about wrestling could write a story about wrestling?
Well, Vince McMahon, Vince Russo, Eric Bischoff, all these guys wrote the best television. They were never actually, they loved the wrestling, but I'm talking about former workers. They got such an ego and they have their own, they're stuck, like Shawn and Triple H are stuck in their bubble.
But
They
they're not
think it's what we
writing.
want, but it's not what
They
we
don't
want.
write.
No, but they're booking it, right? So what I'm saying is it's nice to have a wrestling guy back there, but there's too many of them. You need some outside guys. Wrestling is sports and entertainment. They're just calling it wrestling now. They're taking the entertainment part out. And that's good for the hardcores. But the average Joe, click.
Fair enough, brother, man. All right, man. Let's wrap it up here. Let's call it a day. I know you got stuff to do and you got to get on the road there pretty quick here. So, brother, thank you. This has been a blast. Always enjoyable. My name is Bobby Sampson. His name is Mr. Chance. Michael loved the golf shirt.
And in the words of the great ACDC, those that download, like, and subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you guys. It's Tuesday, so remember, we're midweek. Just keep working hard, keep achieving your goals, keep fighting the good fight. And remember, anyone who shits on you, anyone who doesn't like your ideas, anyone who doesn't believe in you, you don't need them in your life. Trust us. Those kind of people will only bring you down and slow down your momentum. And most importantly, they hate themselves because they're afraid to do what you're willing to do. On that note, I'm Bobby Sampson. He's Mr. Chance Michaels. We'll see you Thursday. And if not Thursday, we'll see you next Tuesday for the next wrestling show. Samp and Chance out.